Hey everyone, I'm Spider-Man 1991, and I like comic books. And so today, I thought in honor of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out in August, I thought I'd review the Thanos Imperative. This is pretty much the finale to Dan Abnett and Andy Landing's run on the Cosmic Marvel titles. Their run began with an event called Annihilation, which involved Annihilus from the Negative Zone invading the regular Marvel universe, and it forced a bunch of cosmic heroes, Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, Nova, and Silver Surfer, like almost every cosmic character that Marvel has to offer, and uniting against them. Then another event, Annihilation Conquest, which dealt with, obviously, everything that was left hanging from Annihilation. And then that led into the previous Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy series. Not the ones that are part of Marvel now, the last ones before that. And eventually, though, both Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy ended after an event called Realm of Kings, which came out of an event called War of Kings, which was primarily fought between Vulcan, Cyclops, and Havoc's brother, who was leading the Shi'ar, and Black Bolt, the leader of the Inhumans. And eventually, though, after Realm of Kings, and during Realm of Kings in the Guardians of the Galaxy series, which I read recently, it ends with Thanos actually being resurrected, because if you read Annihilation, Thanos died. Well, at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, he came back to life. And this is pretty much what the Thanos Imperative deals with. It starts off with the Guardians trying to figure out what they should do with Thanos now that he's alive. They know he's a big threat. They can't just let that go. And eventually, though, they also inspect the fault at the end of the universe, at the edge of the universe, which is pretty much leads into another universe where apparently life won and there is no death, and it is pretty effed up. Like, seriously, no one can die. They pretty much just, if anyone is killed, they just come back as some sort of demonic creature. And apparently, the cause of no death in this universe is actually Captain Marvel, the original Marvel. Captain Marvel, and apparently he did some demonic ritual before he died that caused life to die out. So now the other universe, which is dubbed the Cancerverse, is starting to invade the main Marvel universe. So the Guardians decide, okay, we need to introduce death into this universe. Who better to introduce death than Thanos? And while the Guardians take Thanos into the other universe, Nova has formed a team with a bunch of other Cosmic Marvel heroes: Quasar, Gladiator, Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Ronan the Accuser, to fight off the invading Cancerverse forces. Eventually, though, this leads into a final showdown between the evil Marvel and Thanos, which is pretty much a metaphor for life versus death, which ultimately has Thanos gaining the upper hand and killing Marvel. And afterwards, though, they're able to trap Thanos into the Cancerverse, but the Guardians have to leave, otherwise they'll be trapped in there too. So Star-Lord and Nova sacrifice themselves so that they can stay in the Cancerverse and keep Thanos distracted long enough for the other Guardians to escape. And pretty much the series ends with Star-Lord and Nova. I should point out also that this Nova is Richard Riker, not the current Nova, Sam Alexander. So, pretty much it ends with Star-Lord and Nova dying, or so we think. Because if you've been looking at the current Guardians of the Galaxy series, you know that Star-Lord's alive, and that's something that they're apparently going to deal with in the original Sin event. Okay, and also, the epilogue to this series, which is included in the trade paperback, is actually a lead-in to the series that recently came out, which is also written by Dan Abnett and Andy Landing, called The Annihilators. And it's a team that was formed from an idea Star-Lord had that he transferred to Cosmo, the space dog who's head of security of the giant Nowhere Head, to form in case the universe needs protection again. So, yeah, overall, Thanos Imperative, it's actually a very good story. I would say that the main character is even though the title does go to Thanos, he is a major player in this. He is one of the main characters, yes, but so is Star-Lord and so is Nova too. It's just as much their story too, because in the end, it's just basically all three of them trapped in the Cancerverse when you think about it. Because throughout the story, we hear what Star-Lord's what's going through Star-Lord's head, thinking like why he formed the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. And also for Nova, we get him having to deal with all this because he is the last Nova member. The entire Nova Corps was destroyed during Annihilation, so he pretty much had to form his own team to help deal with these forces. So, and it's pretty much, I think if you've read the last Nova series, you'll like this as well because it does a good job showing how Richard Riker has changed, how he's become much more of a leader and a more commanding character in the Cosmic Marvel U. Also, same thing for Star-Lord. He's kind of changed as well. I do like his characterization in this, how he's willing to do anything to protect the galaxy, even if that means working with Thanos, which of course Drax the Destroyer is against. And spoiler alert, he apparently dies in this as well. The reason I didn't bring up Drax's death or Star-Lord's death that much, or put so much emphasis, is because they're back in the current Guardians of the Galaxy series without really any explanation. I don't think we've gotten any yet. I don't recall there being a mention about how they lived, and I do know that we are going to talk about Star-Lord's return in the Original Sin tie-in issues for Guardians that are supposed to be coming out this August, which I do plan on getting because I want to know how he came back. But yeah, overall, Thanos the Imperative is a great story. If you love the cosmic side of Marvel's universe, then this is definitely something you do not want to miss out on. I do think, though, that you would need to get some pre-reading under your belt before going into this, because you would need to read not necessarily all of the Guardians of the Galaxy series, maybe just the stuff that ties into Realm of Kings and War of Kings, and same thing for Nova. Just read the stuff that ties into War of Kings and Realm of Kings too. Overall, I think that Thanos Imperative, it's a great event. It's definitely something that's not really your traditional superhero book, really, because you do see a lot of familiar faces of the Marvel Universe. They're Cancerverse versions, which are very creepy. But yeah, this is pretty much a great story that represents the other side of the Marvel Universe that we're just now getting into with the movies and everything, with the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos, and the Guardians. The other side that's not really talked about when you think of Marvel. So I think if that's something that's piqued your interest over the past few months, then this is definitely one of the stories that best represents that side of the Marvel Universe. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I did. Let me know if you want me to do more graphic novels. I actually do like this format where I can just do one video for each graphic novel, or better yet, a series of graphic novels. If you have any good recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.